Doug Kirsch. Look, I admitted, and Scott Anderson, by the way, I admitted I got triggered yesterday in the drive home, and I shouldn't have. And I'm like, why does this stuff bother me so much? Why am I getting so mad when people call up and are suggesting that they'd really prefer to see Hendon Hooker or are more intrigued with Hendon Hooker, so much so that they don't want to extend Goff or hesitate to extend Goff because they want to see Hendon Hooker. And I'm thinking to myself, maybe it's just it's the gratitude. It's the fact that we had a quarterback do something, lead a team. And he led a team. It wasn't just him, but he was, made some huge plays in a postseason run that took us to unprecedented heights. First Lions team ever to play a third playoff game. They won a division for the first time in 30 plus years. They made it to the NFC title game for the second time ever. And people already want to get rid of him. It just didn't seem, I don't know. It seemed completely.
He can't run, Doug.
I know. But at the end of the day, like, it's okay to have a different opinion, but I'm like, why is this triggering me? Why am I getting so mad? And I think a lot of it has to do with the dismissiveness of a guy that was highly responsible for leading them to the heights that they did, who I fully believe can do it again.
I think it has something else to do with you.
Because, well, hold on. Because here's the thing. With a better defense, they win that game.
Mm-hmm.
Without 2 drop passes, I bet they win that game.
And a fumble.
Yep. What else do you think it has to do with?
With you, I think it's because of where you prioritize different attributes of a quarterback.
Well, that's true.
And because you have being mobile so far down the list, and people have it so much higher.
Yeah, mobility's down the list for me, and mobility's up. The people, my guess is if you are not a Goff fan, it has a lot to do with how important you think mobility is.
And I think that's the number one thing that triggers, because it goes in direct opposition to what your beliefs are when ranking those abilities.
Yep. 248-539-9797. Ken, you okay back there?
Yeah, newsflash, people. Jared Goff is not perfect.
No.
He's not the best quarterback in the league. And you can still win games and maybe even the Super Bowl with him. Yeah, I'm getting a little triggered like Doug is, Gator, unfortunately, because I see all the feedback coming in. I only send you guys stuff that helps, forward the conversation for the most part, back and forth. But a lot of the tenor of the text seem to be, at this point, and this is just text, that anyone can do what Jared Goff did with the Lions last year, which is so not true because it's never been done before. Right. Literally, the guy you had before him, Matthew Stafford, couldn't do it here. Okay? You finally got a guy who won 2 playoff games, was 30 minutes away from the Super Bowl, and you think anyone can do it? This is after 30 years of not hosting a playoff game? Of winning a playoff game?
You know how many quarterbacks threw for more yards than Jared Goff last year?
Handful?
1. Tua Tagovailoa.
Does that include the playoffs?
No, this is just the
yards
regular
per game?
season.
Okay.
Regular season.
I mean,
you know how many quarterbacks threw for more touchdowns than Jared Goff did last year?
1.
3, actually. Prescott, Love, and Purdy. You know how many quarterbacks had a higher quarterback rating than Jared Goff did last year?
No.
There were like 7. I mean, he had a fantastic year. Not anybody can step into that situation, throw for 4,500 yards and 30 touchdown passes with a quarterback rating around 98 and lead his team to not 1 but 2 playoff wins.
Well, that's the main thing, Gator. The stats, fine. Matthew Stafford had a ton of stats here. He even got the nickname, right? It's about the wins. Jared Goff led this team to meaningful games, meaningful wins. It's not just numbers. And yes, the numbers back up that he is a good quarterback. But I guess my point is the complete disrespect of a guy who did something here that no one's ever done before. It blows my mind. If you're unsure about extending him for $50 million, I get it, man. And if you're curious about Hendon Hooker, I get that too. But to disregard what Jared Goff did, that's where I have a problem.
And the guy said that, when the pressure got up, Jared Goff threw nervous. And I'm thinking back to, remember the last play of the game, touchdown he had to beat Minnesota 2 years ago, the 4th down conversion that they had to close out Green Bay last year, the big throws he made on that Charger drive to beat them. There's
threading the needle constantly to get it to Josh Reynolds or St. Brown or wherever. I mean, it's misdirected.
There's ample examples of him making plays in crunch time. Now, and the fact that we came out of the San Francisco game, and I don't think we took one call saying Goff blew it. Like it was defense or Campbell or other things that let him down. Now we're getting 2-3 weeks later, month later, and people want to move on.